My name is Gillian Keegan. I'm a long-term supporter and worker for the National Infertility Support and Information Group, which is an organisation formed 25 years ago to support and enable people on the journey to have their own family. I would like to first of all introduce Marion, who is our chairperson, who unfortunately couldn't be here this evening, but would just like to take a few minutes to say a few words to everybody.
Good evening. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the launch of NISIG's first foray into self-publishing. We are so proud, as the only Irish fertility charity, to be launching the first in a series of donor conception storybooks for families in Ireland. These books speak to parents and children alike from an Irish perspective, in a way that reflects modern Ireland. This initiative will be a very useful resource for parents wishing to be open with their children about their donor origins. I'm just going to start by sharing a few words from NISIG's co-founder, Helen Brown, who has done so much work over the past 25 years, helping families going through infertility and their various journeys to have their families. For over 20 years, I have repeatedly said to nervous prospective parents who had reservations about telling their child or children about their conception that there are only three things that any child deserves and should have, and that is unconditional love, education, and honesty. By giving these three fundamental things to any child, whatever hurdles they experience in life, they will hopefully be grounded and they'll be okay. My passion when I first came across prospective parents was the welfare of the children, as those are our future. The first donor-conceived baby that I had the privilege of meeting was 22 years ago, a beautiful girl called Lauren. Lauren spoke at our first family conversation event 4 years ago. And I've had so many chats with Lauren and her mum Sarah about the need to have donor books from an Irish perspective. Now this day has finally arrived, thanks to the support we have received from the HSE, including Dublin North and Midwest CHOs, with particular thanks to Cork and Kerry CHOs for their social inclusion grant. This funding has helped us to achieve this wonderful gift that we can now share with parents of donor children. So thank you, Helen, for those words. So before I hand you over, I would like to thank all of you participating in tonight's event, including the book's author and illustrator, Sive Devlin and Tarsila Cruz, and welcome to Elena Ryan, the CEO of Children's Books Ireland, who's joining us tonight. I would also like to thank the NISIG staff, Gillian and Rachel, and the NISIG committee for their commitment and hard work on this project and on tonight's launch event. So now I'm going to hand you over to Elena, as I said, the CEO of Children's Books Ireland. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Elena Ryan and I'm the CEO of Children's Books Ireland, a charity and arts organisation whose vision is simple: every child a reader. I'm so delighted to have been asked to contribute to the launch of two important new books which mark the debut publishing venture for the National Infertility Support and Information Group. These picture books, created by author Sive Devlin and illustrator Tarsila Cruz, are a very welcome development. They are grounded in inclusion and in giving a sense of understanding and belonging to children whose origin story is not often told or shown in children's literature. These two books, telling the story of egg donation and sperm donation in a warm, age-appropriate way, feel like celebrations, expressing the tenacity of parents who really wanted a child and the diversity of families, however they are made. We at Children's Books Ireland very much believe that books are the best starting place for big conversations. In the last 2 years, we have published recommended reading guides about mental health and well-being and about diversity and inclusion. These books, to me, touch on both of these crucial themes. The hope is that a special gift, as these two books are titled, will provide support and confidence to parents in starting the conversation about their child's origins. The book's creators have gone some way to making that a reality. Sive's clear, age-appropriate language makes this picture book an accessible, readable story. It steers clear of any confusing medical terminology and simply tells the young reader that families come in all shapes and sizes, and that there are many different ways to make a family too. Tarsila's illustrations cleverly focus on animal families, and while this book is about Mammy and Daddy, she shows us all kinds of families in the animal kingdom, including some with no children, some with several, some with children who don't look like them, and some with one parent. I know that NISIG's aim is to realise a larger series of books that will be inclusive for all families, and these 2 books are a great step in that direction. The books are Irish, and I think for children in Ireland this is important in making sure that the message of the book lands for them and that it feels like their family. From calling the characters Mammy and Daddy to the little visual hints in Tarsila's drawings, the sign for Skull, Owen, the packaging of recognisable brands in the baking cupboard, the creators have understood that this story hasn't been available to Irish families before, and that these details add a little layer of familiarity and warmth, things for readers to notice as they revisit the book again and again. One message that I can't stress enough is that it is never too early to read to your child. They don't need to be able to read the words on a page to enjoy a great book, from turning the pages to looking at the pictures. I'm told that the advice on sharing the story of donor conception with a child follows the same principles, with early disclosure regarded as best practice. But that doesn't make it easy for parents to broach the topic, to find the right words, or to know how to make the conversation with their child a positive, open one. I feel that these books will be a welcome tool for parents, for families, a great addition to the canon of children's books featuring an array of family types, and a great excuse to spend some family time with a book, which hopefully will lead to another and another and another. Congratulations to Sive Devlin, Tarsila Cruz, and all at the National Infertility Support and Information Group on the publication of a special gift. I very much look forward to hearing feedback from happy families and to seeing what comes next.
And I'd like now to pass you on to Tarsila and Sive, our illustrator and author, to discuss what they did in terms of creating the books.
Hi, my name is Tarsila Cruz and I'm a children's book illustrator.
Hi, my name is Sive Devlin and I'm a children's book author. And we worked together to create this book for NISIG and we're really happy with the results. So Tarsila, I loved working on it, did you?
I did, I actually took great pleasure. The book is really, really interesting because it approaches a topic that, although it's not personal to me, I really empathize with it. And as a children's book illustrator, I feel that it's a very important topic to address for families.
Absolutely, and I suppose for me, I had my own personal experience of seeking fertility treatment, and I know that it can be a really lonely road and a really tough road, but I also know that once there's success on that road, it can be such a joy and such a celebration. So that's really what I tried to embody in this book, in this story, that the theme would be more of a celebration of life and a celebration of the donors that make these gorgeous babies possible.
I agree, and I think that this is something that we talked about when we were creating the book, that we really wanted to make it focused on the child and celebrate how they are so welcome and so loved within their families. How do you feel that we have accomplished that through the book?
Yeah, well, that was really important to me too, because children, especially the age group that we're writing for, age kind of 3 to 8, they really are the center of their own universe. They really think the world revolves around them. They haven't really grown out of that stage to look beyond and think of anybody but themselves. So I really tried to embody that, and I know in the images that you created beautifully, we really see that part of a child who just is so happy in their world and in their family and knows that they're loved and they're very confident in that love. So I think we managed to do that, yeah.
I think so. And what I really like about this book as well is how we made it very Irish. Can you point out some of the things that we've added throughout the book that made it really uniquely Irish?
Yeah, well, we did talk a lot about that. So I think we tried to, the color palette from the characters, which we chose to do animal characters rather than human characters. And we chose kind of native Irish animals. We used a color palette that was very Irish. Well, you used a colour palette that was very Irish. We also, though, tried to make it quite unique with little signs, as Gaeilge, a little bit of Gaeilge in there, because I am an Irish language author as well. And also, using phrases, names like Mammy and Daddy rather than Mom and Dad, because I think a lot of the books maybe that are available so far on that topic, the topic of donation and other fertility issues, they're quite American usually, or not specifically Irish. So yeah, I know that was very important to NISIG. And then there's some other very visual treats in there too that I can't wait for people to see.
Yeah, me too. I think that would be really, really lovely. Is there anything else you want to discuss about this wonderful book that we hope is going to bring joy and start conversations within their families?
I think one of the other things that we did was to really think about families and parents using this book for the first time, opening this conversation maybe for the first time with their very young child. So I'm really quite happy that we managed to put in a section of kind of how to use the book, and to hopefully fill parents with the confidence that they can open this conversation with their children, and that the child will always know that whether there's a donor in their family story, that they will be proud of that fact, and that it will just become part of their life and not something that's a big issue at all, that it's just who they are. So it's all really about the celebration of these wonderful families that came through with a donor in their story, but that is just part of their lives. Exactly, because it's great.
It is great.
And we're so pleased. I'm just so thrilled and thankful to NISIG for choosing us to work on this book, and wish them all the best with the amazing work that they do.
And now I'd like to pass you over to Katrina from the National Infertility Support and Information Group to round up the evening.
So all that's left for me to do now this evening is to thank you for attending. We're delighted that you could be part of the launch of a special gift and egg donation story. At NISIG, we have lots of resources available for you on our website, so please do log on to the website. And of course, if you'd like a copy of the book, do send us an email. We'd be delighted to send you a copy either by post or by email. We'd also love to invite you to follow our social media. We're available on Twitter and Instagram, and have lots of interesting information coming up on a regular basis for you. So thank you again for joining, and we look forward to sending you a copy of our new book, which is one in a series of books we hope to present.